First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Well, everyone, welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. I appreciate everybody joining us wherever you're watching. You found us. Congratulations. Thank you. Come on back to that point, wherever it is. We're on all of the apps, of course, for Fox 12 Oregon, on our website, and here on YouTube. And I am here right now with Eric G. from Around the House Northwest. Always great having Eric here on the show, and always so much information. Every time that you have you on, I go back and I watch through the segment and then take a note of all the things that you talk about.
Thanks, man.
So very valuable, and you've got something really important to talk about today.
It's a pet peeve of mine, and this is something that can save you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this is how to hire a contractor. And this is one of the things, when it goes badly, it goes horribly. I mean, it is so bad. And there's a lot of steps that you can take to protect yourself, because there's a lot of great contractors out there, but the secret is how do you find them without finding the bad ones? They're going to take you for your money and cost you twice as much down the road.
And I've gone through that. I mean, I have a home and I've hired contractors before, and it is really intimidating and frustrating, and you get price ranges all over the board, and then you don't know whether you're getting, somebody trying to rip you off, or if somebody's too low, why are they that low? There's all those questions they have. So it's a difficult thing to do.
So here's the thing, in Oregon it's kind of easy, same with Washington because they have their own laws as well, but in Oregon we have the Construction Contractors Board, which is the Oregon CCB. And contractors in the state have to be licensed, bonded, insured to do business here. Even a handyman in most cases has to have that license to protect themselves. And there's a lot of reasons why, and that's where that insurance comes in. Let's say you hire a handyman to come out and fix your gutters. And you're going, I'm just spending a few $100. But what happens is if that guy gets up on there and isn't licensed, bonded, insured, and they fall off that ladder and they get hurt, you're responsible as a homeowner for their injury. So now you're paying for their medical bills, their disability, whatever. This could go lifelong.
Wow.
So there's a massive amount of stuff here that you need to make sure that you're covered with so you don't become the employer.
And that's, in order to get their CCB license, they have to have that kind of insurance?
They have to have that. That's why in ads you hear somebody go, Oregon CCB.
Yeah, CCB, blah, 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 blah.
That's by law has to be there in those ads in Oregon. So that's one of those things that's be careful. But that also means there's a trace that you can go on there. So the secret is just to go onto the Oregon CCB site and find out what their number is. They'll tell you that if they've been sued before, what's their status? Are they licensed, bonded, insured? It's all right there for you to find, so you can do that research really easily.
So no matter who it is, even if it's a handyman, contractor, somebody doing your plumbing, whatever,
they have to
have that number.
Insured.
So get that number. And I know we've got it pulled up here too. You were going to show us, what this site is like.
Yeah,
and so this is what it is. This is from the Oregon government, Oregon.gov.
Yeah, so you just go on and search here. You can find the license. And then there's all these things that you can find in there. And they even have, their buyer beware list, which is, of course, the contractors that they have fined the most out there that are on there. Okay, these are the bad guys. And so they have a list up there as well of that. And so there is so much over here.
I'm not going to scroll down on it, but there is the buyer beware list. So these are specifically bad ones?
These are the ones that they're like, hey, we've got, tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars of fines on that have been doing this time and time again. Those are their multiple offenders over there, for instance. But here's the great thing here in Oregon, is that as a homeowner, you can actually call up the Oregon CCB on the number and say, I'm looking at these contractors. They will give you their opinion and go, wow, these guys have been in business for 25 years.
Really?
They haven't had any fines or anything. These guys are great. Or they'll go, wow, these guys have, this is under their 5th business name, and be careful. So you can really lean on them to get help.
And they'll give you that kind of info. So they can say like, oh yeah, well they've filed for bankruptcy 4 times in the last 2 years and switched companies.
Yeah, absolutely. So they'll go through and really give you a hand. So lean on these guys because, for instance, I've been out helping a family right now that's a friend of a friend, and these people went and hired a contractor to do this work around the house, and it's a kitchen remodel, bathroom model, new hardwood floors. And they've got $135,000 or so into this project so far. And that $135,000 is going to get hauled off in dumpsters because there's not one thing done on this project right. Bathrooms being done wrong, the kitchen's horrible, it's all got, the siding's wrong on the outside of the house. So literally this money is going to get thrown away and hauled off to the dumpster because it can't be reused. And now you're going to pay for somebody to take that $135,000 worth of stuff away, and then you're going to spend $200,000 to do it right.
Oh, I'd have to fix everything that was just destroyed by that.
Yeah, it's just completely done wrong.
And that's all just because they hired the wrong person who didn't do it up to code, who didn't do.
Yeah, no permits were pulled. You know,
Yeah.
I know permits is such a hard topic, but that's there for your health and safety. At the same time, though, you can pass a building permit. Building permit has really nothing to do with the aesthetics and the beauty and the quality of the craftsmanship. It just means that your health and safety and welfare is covered.
Okay.
So you could have the most horrible paint job done in the world. You could have all this stuff that looks unlevel, nasty. It still could pass through those permits.
Okay.
So really you want to find the right contractor and then make sure you pull those permits, because now more than ever, that's an important thing.
So let me ask you this: like, if you're going to have some major work done, whatever that is, to your home, electrical or plumbing or your roof or whatever, how many bids do you recommend getting, or what process actually do you recommend somebody go through?
Yeah, first I would jump on, and before I even call to get those estimates, I'd jump onto your either Washington or whatever your CCV type state, find that and do your research first and see. Okay, I'd also want to pretty much know: do you have a friend that's worked with one of these people before?
Yeah,
if you
that
start
recommendation.
asking out, it's a good place to go. Some of the worst places to go to find these names are on like Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace. A lot of those things are not a good place to find contractors.
Really?
So, and the reason why is that a lot of these social media companies actually block and have blocked in the past the Oregon CCB for going on there to patrol for these people.
Oh.
So they don't have access to it. So it's a little safe haven for people to go hiding.
Gotcha.
So a lot of those social media places that are local to you, be careful, because that's just a hotbed for bad contractors.
So on like the CCB website, just to go back to this.
Yeah.
So if you say, I'm in a certain area, can you search within a certain area?
You can go on here and search name, but I use this to actually search the contractors that I'm finding. So
Okay.
after I get my referral of a friend going, hey, I used
So
this
and so.
contractor, I will
Yeah.
go on here and search for them and see what other names and stuff are. If you're not really wanting to do that, get your names and stuff of people out there. There's a lot of great contractors. For instance, here's one of the tips that I use. If I'm going to have a roof done, for instance, or I'm going to have a product installed, I go over to their website and see if they have a certified installer program. Because many times, like, for
Okay.
Carrier, for instance, I've worked a lot, one of my sponsors is Pyramid Heating and Cooling. I go onto the Carrier website and go, I need a heating and cooling system, and I go find out who the certified installers are. Pyramid Heating and Cooling would be one of those as an example.
Gotcha.
So that way okay, these guys are trained by them, and then I say, okay, so they know the product. Now let's go see if they're licensed, bonded, insured.
Right. And then see what kind of reports there are about them or anything like that.
Absolutely, and do that. I've done a lot of being a witness in many of cases for homeowners that have been taken advantage of by illegal contractors out there. And again, like I said, there's a handful of bad ones that are ruining this big bin of apples.
Yeah.
There's most contractors are great. It's trying to weed out those bad ones out there.
Yeah.
So another secret that I give is make sure that they're licensed and bonded when they come out to give you that estimate. But the day that you're going to sign the contract and you go, hey, I have found the perfect contractor, I go back on the CCB website, because I want to make sure the day that I'm signing on the dotted line, that insurance is good, that is. And they
Yeah.
update the site automatically. So a lot of these companies have to get a hold of, like, if their insurance is getting canceled, part of that process is letting the state know.
So and if they're not
That way
doing
it's
that,
not-
then that'd be a huge red flag.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
if you go to sign that, then basically you're going to be more likely, I'm not an attorney, but more likely you're covered through that process because the day you signed it. So now you kind of captured that.
Yeah. To be like, okay, here it was this day you were covered. So
was
what
covered.
happened? Yeah.
And so that's the key right there. And so that license, the bond, and the insurance are there to protect you, and of course what they've got going on with the construction projects. So.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was important, but yeah, that really does cover a lot of things. Just that whole, talking about somebody falling off of a ladder, and yeah, you're responsible for that.
Responsible for
that's
that.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Real quick though, I want to talk a little bit more about being a witness. What does that mean? You're going in and being a witness.
So
for
let's say that you hired a contractor to come out and they did a horrible job on things, and it wasn't meeting your expectations, or maybe they skipped town or whatever.
Right.
You would get a hold of a company that maybe is a construction dispute resolution company to try to recapture some of that.
Yeah.
They would call me up and say, okay, Eric, you need to go out and take a look at your place, and I would show up and go, wow, that doesn't meet specifications. That wasn't done correctly. And so
Okay.
I would have to go through and do a report initially to that either attorney or construction dispute resolution specialist to say, okay, this is what's wrong.
Wow.
And then I would have to go through and basically prove that, okay, they did not follow the installation instructions for this, they didn't follow the specifications, or what they would call the industry standards for that.
Man.
And
So,
that's
is that
a
like
detailed work.
disassembling things and seeing if they assemble things right, or just I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it depends
Great
on
example,
what it is,
like in a
but yeah.
bathroom and a shower. One of
Yeah.
the steps that these lower quality contractors do is they'll skip the waterproofing because tile and grout is not waterproof. You have to have the waterproofing behind it. So I can go in there and take off the escutcheon plates around the shower valve and go, yeah, there's no waterproofing in here. So then before you tear it open, you can do some non-destructive testing to see,
Yeah.
pull up a floor vent. You can start to kind of do some stuff and say, well, there's not around here. I'm going to guess it wasn't done anywhere else.
Man, that's a lot right there, and that happens to so many people. So, great advice. So again, the website, that is where you're recommending.
Yeah.
Go there.
Oregon.gov/CCB is an easy one.
Anything else that people should be doing when it comes to contractors?
Again, read the contract and figure out what the payment structure is. When I see a contract for a remodeling project, especially a bigger one, I want to see it itemized.
Yeah.
Because if you take on like a kitchen remodel or a bathroom remodel or something big, it's really easy to say kitchen remodel, $90,000.
Right.
But what are you getting? Are you getting LG appliances or Sub-Zero Wolf? Or what are those specifications? I want to see down to what knobs and handles are on there.
Yeah.
I want to see this very detailed, so you know the scope of what you're getting. Because
Yeah.
you could be getting a $100 faucet or a $10,000 faucet, or where is that in between? I want to see that written out in the contract. And then of course payment. How much are you putting down? What are the payment terms? Some of the biggest problems you see out there are payment disputes.
Yeah.
And you want to follow that throughout the process of where that is.
Yeah. So really take the time and read through that contract, get everything written out. And
Yeah, I covered a thing that made the national news about a year and a half ago in Colorado, which I ended up being friends with. This was the sledgehammer contractor, was all over the news. This contractor came in halfway through this project. It was horribly done, unlicensed, unbonded. Came in, decided because he wasn't getting paid to take a sledgehammer to the bathroom and repossess it. And so I followed the court case through this whole thing where he got charged and ended up, doing some time for this, and the whole thing out in Colorado Springs. But and a bunch of contractors here locally in Portland flew out there to make her bathroom right for her at no charge.
oh, that's cool.
So it was a whole thing that we did, and we covered it. And of course, Inside Edition, all these national things had it. They covered the whole story because the neighbor got the video of him swinging the sledgehammer at this three-quarter finished bathroom. So,
What happened to that guy?
yeah, he got fined. I think he might have had to do some jail time on that. He had a long history of this before, so it was not
Shocked that was not his
shock,
first.
right?
Yeah.
So he had some history of that, and ironically, when he was there getting his thing, he had another case pending for doing it to somebody else.
Man.
So you see these same people kind of doing it. That's one of the
Yeah.
things that doing the research, calling up, trying to figure out to get those references. Those are big. If you've got friends that are references, are even better.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind though, once you get that reference and that they've done a great project, you need to make the time to take those phone calls to be their reference.
Yeah.
And do that. But that reference is a big deal. Sometimes, it's not the perfect one. They can have their cousins and best friends be their reference. That happens. But if you can go out and even take a look at the project, if it's a big one, or at least do a drive-by and say, wow, that's a beautiful remodel,
Yeah.
then that helps.
Great. Well, this is all, again, great advice, right here for doing that. Anything else on that? Because I do want to talk about what's happening on the show.
Yeah, that's kind of just take your steps, be
Yeah.
persistent and patient,
Take the
and do
time.
your research.
Yeah.
This is like a marriage that you have, because these people are going to get in your life.
Yeah.
You need to be able to mesh and work with them.
And whatever they're doing, you're going to have for probably a long time if it's a remodel. So
Could be decades.
yeah, great. Well, let's talk about this weekend's episode.
Oh yeah.
What's coming up?
We head out into Northwest Portland and visit Certainty Roofing. We watch them make asphalt shingles for your home.
Okay.
So basically, they're starting out with tar, the granules, and the fiberglass felt, and they're making roofing shingles out there.
Oh, cool.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And then summertime as well, since it's roofing season, it's also sprinkler system. So we also go through and put in an underground sprinkler system, and show how to put that in so you can put the hose away.
Ah, cool.
And then another one, we're talking with a huge YouTube and Instagram person, Brent from BYO2 Bring Your Own Tools. So we've got him on, and he's another Northwest person, but he's got the hundreds of millions of views out there. So we talk summer projects with him and some building decks and things like that. So we've got a jam-packed show.
That's a lot to pack into one show, and that's the new episodes on Saturday.
Saturday, 10 a.m., Fox 12 Plus.
Saturday, 10 a.m. right there, Fox 12 Plus, and the repeat of last week's episode. Those
That'll
are
be
on
tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus, and then The new show, of course, will air again on Sunday night at 6 p.m. and the following 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday.
There you go. So check it all out. And of course, there's lots of videos too on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we've almost got 100 over there into the Around the House. So we're at 98. So
About to hit the milestone then.
About to hit the milestone.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Eric, as always, so nice to have you on here,
Thanks,
every
brother.
week and joining us. And thanks to everybody who's joining us here too on Fox 12 Now. Appreciate it very much. Well, like we said, there's lots of Eric's videos there on our YouTube page, and there are lots of Fox 12 Now interviews there as well. So go check those out, including earlier today, talked about flying cars and a car that just got FAA approval to start testing that out. Yeah,
that's cool.
So pretty fascinating stuff. So you can go check that one out too. But wherever you are, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll be back soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.